Hey, everybody. A quick story for today. Maybe you can relate. Do you know of a 17-year-old, or have you been yourself a 17-year-old kid who thought that they knew everything and they were a little bit maybe too full of themselves? Sounds maybe familiar, maybe somebody in your household, maybe someone friend's child, maybe even you when you were young. I think maybe I was a little bit know-it-all when I was younger. Sometimes I feel maybe I do it now and I have to watch myself. But that's not the point. The point is that this story about a 17-year-old child who knew everything, and then he thought that he's better than anybody else, that he's gonna, even the moon and the stars are gonna bow to him. Yes, I'm talking about Joseph. And it was a reason for his siblings to dislike him. They actually started to dislike him before he even started sharing his dreams. They disliked him because of one reason. And the reason was that their father liked Joseph more than he loved them. So they knew that they were not as lovable to their dad as much as Joseph was. And that was enough of a reason for them to dislike him. And then once he started telling and sharing his dreams, then they had almost ammunition. And I was thinking about that. Sometimes as human beings, we may just not like somebody. We don't have yet a reason that we can feel, but we can feel maybe that we just don't like that person. And I think one of the lessons in this Torah portion is perhaps cultivating a little bit more empathy. Yes, empathy. Now you're thinking, what empathy? Joseph was full of himself. Yeah, he was definitely not humble. I agree. And he was an orphan. I mean, he didn't have a dad. He didn't have a mom. He had a dad, but he didn't have a mom. The other siblings had a mom, and he didn't have a parent. Can you imagine how it was probably for him growing up, losing his mom? And so maybe his dad compensated him. I don't know, but this could be some kind of an idea maybe that got compensated. But it didn't yet landed. He didn't feel, I don't think Joseph in his youth really felt connecting to his siblings. And maybe because they were far away from him, they put him in an arm's length. And the story that is read in synagogues all over the world is about the story of Joseph. And it's the story that kind of, when you read it, it goes from bad to worse. Every time, in every junction, you think something good will happen. And so, he tells his brothers that he's dreaming, and his brothers start to hate him. And then they begin to jealous of him. And then he goes to look for them because he was sent by his dad, and they throw him in a pit. And then when they come to find him to take him out of the pit, he was gone. And then he was at Potiphar's house. He was a servant, and things were going well. And then the wife had her eyes on Joseph. So he went to prison. And then in prison, he thought, okay, he has the butler and the baker, and he's going to get out of prison. He didn't. So it seems like in every turn of the way, when there was a possibility of redemption, it didn't happen. And I was thinking about how it connects to the positive intelligence, the sage perspective, that everything that happens to us, and I think we all have experiences that we had not good outcome. We were disappointed or something's bad happened. And yet, according to the Torah, the idea of trust, the idea of belief, the idea of things will get better, the idea of hope and positive intelligence, that we can make, not at that moment, but in general, we can make a negative thing that happened to us turn it into a gift and opportunity. Again, not that the thing that happened was good, because it wasn't good that he was thrown into the pit. It wasn't good that Joseph was sold to slavery. It wasn't good that he went to prison. But then he took all of the things that happened to him and it solidified who he were to become. And Joseph was the first person recorded in the Bible that forgave. Yeah, not Abraham, not Isaac, not Jacob, not Noah, not Adam. Joseph. He had the ability to forgive with all the things that didn't go his way. So what are we learning today? What is the lesson for today? The little bit of a wisdom, a nugget from my tradition, but also applies to everybody. Number one, maybe have a little empathy. The brothers lacked empathy toward their brother. Yet the brother later on not only showed empathy, but had shown forgiveness. And number two, don't be a parent that take sides and say, oh, I like this one more than I like this one, unless you're doing it as a joke. Sometimes I do it with my kids. I said, yeah, our third one, he is the Messiah. We always have this joke, because he's 9 years younger than number two. So we always find it funny. Anyway, this is the message. And the third part is that when something happened that you didn't anticipate, that was not going well, have faith, have trust, have hope, and try to glean out of this experience something that you can grow and change it and turn it into a gift and an opportunity for your future. That is my message for today. I'm looking forward to talking to you next time. Bye.